Yeah, hello and welcome everyone from my side. As mentioned, my name is Holger Bruchelt. I'm part of the product management team at Microsoft, working very closely with SAP on different integration topics. And one obviously very important integration topic that we are focusing on right now is AI. So what I want to talk about today is a little how Microsoft, AI, and especially obviously in the SAP business context work together. So to start with, what I want to talk about is, actually I see that these are not the latest slides. So let's see, we might need to improvise a little, but let's see how this goes. So I actually wanted to start with a nice picture from Sapphire, where we had Christian Klein in his very first keynote, and one of the very first things that he talked about in his keynote was actually the collaboration that SAP is currently doing with us on the SAP Joule and Copilot integration. So I guess most of you know about SAP Joule, they're SAP's digital assistant, but I guess some of you or all of you also know Microsoft Copilot, so our digital assistant that allows you to interact with different data from Teams, from Outlook, from Excel. So what Christian Klein basically announced at Sapphire was this integration between Joule and Copilot. And that's basically one of the topics that I want to talk about today. So when we look at AI, especially, then if you look at yourself, probably for the last year, I guess most of you have at least once played around with ChatGPT, experienced not only AI, but really generative AI, how this really changes the way how we work, either to just brainstorm some ideas, or maybe to create some images using Microsoft Designer or DALL-E or any of the other tools that are out there. So for each and every I think even in the last few months, AI has dramatically changed the way how individuals work. This can also be extended to teams. If I actually look at our product, Teams, if we have meetings there, the way how we work in the meantime, like capturing meeting minutes or something like that, has also completely changed in the last few months. In the past, there was always the question who takes notes and stuff like that. In the meantime, we just click a button in Teams, and Teams uses actually this transcribe functionality, and the Copilot creates a summary and creates meeting minutes, creates even meeting notes. They might not be perfect yet, but it's absolutely a great starting point for us to get meeting notes very easily written. So this is another point where we clearly see that the whole interaction between teams is also dramatically changing. Similar if you look at industries, if we look at business AI, how SAP calls it, we also see, first of all, AI has been around for a very long time. There are a lot of industries where AI has been used for years now. I think the interesting change that we now see is, again, this generative AI being infused in different industry, in different processes with our customers. And this can range, obviously, from this very simple thing that it helps users to create a new email, to work with customer cases, but it also really revolutionizes the way how, for example, advertising agents work. And we have some great customers there that really use generative AI from Microsoft to come up with completely new designs, come up with completely new ideas. So what I want to talk about in the next 25 minutes or so is really how the AI can completely change the whole way how each individual, but also industries can really work together, how we enhance the user experience. I mean, again, if you saw some of the slides from Sapphire, SAP is clearly positioning Joule as the entry point into the SAP systems going forward. Right now, it's the user experience is Fiori, but in the message that SAP made, Joule is becoming the digital entry point into the SAP user interface. So really completely changing, completely enriching the way how users actually can interact with an SAP system. It completely changes the way how we interact with software. Maybe there's a guide that helps you to navigate your S/4HANA system. Maybe there's some information that help you to create a sales order or to work on an invoice or something like that. So we definitely see a huge set and a huge opportunity for SAP customers to enrich their processes with AI. Now, when it comes to the Microsoft side, on the Microsoft side, we obviously have the Microsoft Copilot. Copilot is the brand that we released a few months ago that is now really productively available, and we have a growing number of customers that are really using Copilot in their daily lives. Again, maybe in Teams, maybe when writing an email, maybe when checking a Word document or something like that. But we clearly see that this combination of the large language models combined with the information in the internet, combined with the grounding, and obviously from a Microsoft perspective, with data protection and security in place, that is something that completely changes the way how you can actually work in Office products. And actually, speaking of Office products, that's really where this combination with our Microsoft Graph that has access to all your data that you anyways have already stored in a protective way, in a secure way, in a single sign-on way, that you have access to this data and not someone else. So basically, if I use my Copilot, I might get, or I will get, very different results than if you are using the Copilot in the Microsoft content. So that's really something where we see a huge power of the integration of the large language models, of Copilot in the existing Microsoft products. Now, obviously, we deliver a lot of these products out of the box, and that's something that I want to show you in a second as well. But we also provide you the tools to create your very own Copilots, to create your very own integration scenarios. And that is another huge thing where we see a lot of customers, and actually also a lot of partners working with us to build their very own, their very specific Copilot integrations, and obviously very much in the context of SAP. So what I want to show you in a few videos, and I hope this works with these slides, is how we are working very closely with SAP on an out-of-the-box integration. Again, this Copilot and Joule integration that Christian Klein mentioned at Sapphire is a starting point, and I want to show you a video about this in a second. But also how, for example, we are working with S4HANA. Jan Gilg was yesterday here on stage from the S4HANA team. How we are working very closely with the S4HANA team to provide you with a Copilot experience that allows you to not only read, but really interact with your SAP system directly from Copilot. Then I want to switch over and show you how you can actually build your very own Copilot scenarios. We have created a small demo where we're also working very closely with some partners, how you can build your very own Copilot experience, and again, access any SAP system out there. Interact with any SAP system, always adhering to principal propagation to really make sure that the Copilot user that is using this in the Microsoft environment has only access to the SAP data that he's allowed to access. And then finally, I want to show you our Copilot for Finance. So something that is actually coming out of Microsoft. Microsoft is a huge SAP customer. So and our finance department also had a lot of requirements and wishes actually how they would like to work with Copilot from Excel with an SAP system. And that's basically the last demo that I want to show you. So these are these four pillars that I want to go through and show you a few videos. So let's hope that all of this works. So what I want to start with is this Joule and Copilot integration. Again, Joule is SAP's digital assistant. It's already available for some SAP SuccessFactors customers. There are some scenarios already available for S4HANA in the RISE context. There are some documentation use cases. But what we wanted to do with SAP is really to address the user where the users are. So if you are an SAP user, if you are currently in your S4HANA system, if you're calling right now, or if you're looking up some sales orders, then we want to make sure that you can open up that you can open up Joule, and from Joule you can also access information on the Microsoft side. So basically, Joule isn't the expert when it comes to Microsoft, but Joule knows a friend who is the expert on the Microsoft side, and that's Copilot. So basically, Joule would ask Copilot, can you help me in creating something in Teams? Or can you look up some information in Outlook? Can you look up some information in SharePoint? Then Copilot would relay this information back to Joule, and then Joule would present the answers to the users. Now, similarly, if the user, maybe the very same user, or maybe a colleague is working in Outlook, for example, right now, or in Teams, then the same thing should be possible, that the user in Outlook or in Teams can ask a question about the SAP system. So the user should be able to ask, well, show me the latest information about a specific customer, or what's the reason why sales order 123 was blocked, or something like that. Again, Copilot does not have this information natively, but Copilot knows Joule. So Copilot can ask Joule to retrieve this information. Joule can connect to the SAP system, retrieve the information, and show it again to the end user. So Joule is the expert on the SAP side. Copilot is the expert on the Microsoft side. And now they know each other. Now they can talk to each other. And I think with this integration, we will have some really, really cool scenarios. So this is really something that we will ship, or SAP will ship, in the August release of S/4HANA Public Cloud. And I think this really shows the way where we're going with this, that we're really trying to address the users where they are. When they are in the S/4HANA screen, perfect. Then they should stay there. They should be able to access all the SAP and Microsoft information that is relevant for their daily business. But if they are in the Microsoft world, if they are in Outlook, if they are in Teams, if they are in Excel, they should also be able to access all the relevant information from the SAP system. Now with this, let me switch over to the custom-built scenarios. As mentioned, the first two scenarios, Copilot and Joule, Copilot and S/4HANA, they are really pre-built. This will be ready-to-use applications that you can leverage out of the box. But we obviously know, SAP at Microsoft, we will never address all your requirements that you have. There will always be something that makes you unique, where you have something where you need a special integration. And that's exactly where our Copilot Studio comes in. With Copilot Studio, we empower you to create your very own Copilot scenarios, your very own integrations into the SAP and non-SAP world. With Copilot Studio, we actually have a low-code tool, more or less, that allows you to build your own flows, build your own scenarios, build your own integrations in Teams, in Outlook, in Excel. So you can really enrich these standard Office products. It can also be a standalone scenario, or it can be embedded in a website or something like that. But this really allows you to create your very own interactions. And it's, again, very, very important to highlight that this is not only reading information like what we've seen right now, but it's also updating the information in the SAP system, always adhering to the roles and permissions that are set in the SAP system. So even if I am a Teams administrator on the Microsoft side, if I don't have the permissions on the SAP side, I will not be able to read a sales order or to update an invoice or something like that. So using Copilot, I was able to connect to the SAP system, but more importantly, combine information from SAP with Teams, with Outlook, with all the information that are available in both the SAP and the Microsoft world, get a consolidated view, and then again from Copilot, interact with my SAP system. And I think that's one of the really, really powerful scenarios that we'll see. You might have other systems. Maybe you have a Salesforce system. Maybe you have a Workday system. Maybe you have whatever systems. With the Copilot Studio, we have over 1,000 connectors that allow you to connect to these systems. Connect to these systems in a secure way, in a way where we have single sign-on, so where we can make sure that you really get only the information that you're allowed to see. And then the Copilot can generate and render a holistic, comprehensive scenario update on a specific scenario. With this, let me go to the last scenario that I wanted to show you. And that's our Copilot for Finance. The story behind Copilot for Finance is actually really, really interesting, because this is really something that came from our own IT. So our own IT, obviously, they also saw what's all of a sudden possible with Copilot. Copilot can help you, here with these meeting minutes, can help you create an email or something like that, create a summary of whatever, get some insights in data. And they also said, well, look, we have so much data in our SAP systems. What can we do with Copilot and our data in the SAP systems? And one thing that we started was really this Copilot for Finance. So the idea was to take the power of Copilot and the large language models, connect it with the information in our SAP systems, and then get some insights. So what started as an internal project, basically, for Microsoft IT, for our finance department, is something when we started showing this to customers that resonated obviously extremely well. And that's where we said, well, look, let's make a product out of this. Let's also work with partners and customers to also provide them here with this Copilot for Finance scenarios. And we actually have some partners already that took this as a baseline, and they have extended these to not only connect to specific SAP systems that are supported right now, but to really broaden up the reach, to also connect to other systems, SAP and non-SAP systems. So the Copilot for Finance, that is really something where we see a lot of interest from customers at the moment. So with this, let me actually close. I hope I was able to show you a few scenarios. First of all, how really Microsoft and SAP, how we are co-innovating, how we have a very, very strategic development relationship where we have long-term investments on both sides to really bring the Copilot and the Joule stack much, much closer together. But it's not only the strategic forward-thinking scenario, but really something that you can use almost today. If you look at the S/4HANA use cases, this is something, if you sign up to the early adopter program, that you can already use immediately and get some benefits out of this. If you cannot wait, or if you don't want to wait for these scenarios, then the Copilot Studio integration is really something that can get you started also immediately, where you really, in a low-code fashion, there's even a free trial available that you can easily use, where you can easily start with this, create your own Copilots, connect it to the SAP system, and start building your own scenarios. And then if you are in finance, then I would definitely also recommend to take a look at the Copilots for Finance. So my call to action basically is take a look around in your company, identify a few use cases, and see if there's a match from the out-of-the-box deliveries that we have at Microsoft or SAP, or if not, then go out and start building your own Copilots. It's really, really easy. It's really powerful to get started. And yeah, it would be great to see some of you using the Copilot scenarios. With this, thank you so much. I hope I was able to share some good insights with you. I would be happy to have some follow-up discussions. Thank you very much for joining.